the stars before midnight tonight. We will have literally reached the stars before midnight tonight. Space can be explored and mastered without feeding the fires of war, without repeating the mistakes that man has made in extending his writ around this globe of ours. No national conflict in outer space as yet. Its hazards are hostile to us all. Its conquest deserves the best of all mankind. For peaceful cooperation may never come again. The stars before midnight tonight.
You are a part of this.
And
is it starting now?
yep.
Oh, okay. Hello. Hi, everyone.
Hey.
Welcome to Intro to Acro Chair. I'm Tippy.
And I'm Kyle, and this is Sputnik.
This is Sputnik. He's obviously a part of this. He clearly wants to be a part of what's going on. So just a very quick intro here. Couple of prerequisites would definitely be a chair, if you have one, folding chair is preferable, but if you have another type of chair and you don't have a folding chair, that should work. Also, leggings, there's gonna be a lot of like sliding around on the metal of the chair, and so the leggings really help you out with that. We also both recommend like long sleeve shirts for the same reason. Not required, but we just find that it helps, especially if it's your first time just kind of maneuvering yourself around the chair. Knee pads, if you have them. And you can choose whether to put your hair up or down. Having it down has its advantages because we're gonna be doing a lot of hair flipping. So don't feel like you need to put it up in a tight bun or anything.
Mine's just gross too, that's why. It's always better down.
Exactly.
Y'all want to see my hair down today.
So we're just gonna do like a quick warm up and stretch to get started. So if you're like, oh, I need to get my leggings and knee pads and whatever, now's the time to do that while we take everyone else through the warm up. So let's get started. For the warm up, we have some chair oriented exercises for you. We're gonna start at an easier difficulty level and then go down to the more difficult stuff. So the first thing that we're gonna do are lunges, but with the chair. So basically what we do, if you have a yoga mat, that's helpful, but sort of like imagine the distance of a yoga mat. On one end of your mat, you have you. On the other end of the mat, you have a chair. Take your right leg back, and so that your toes are resting on the seat of the chair, like you are doing a lunge on the floor. Move your hips forward, and then what you're gonna do is you're just gonna bend that left knee. Put your hands on your hip for stability, and we're gonna do this 8 times. So that's 3, 4, and again, try to keep your hip forward as much as you can. That's 6, 7, and then on 8, try to go down lower than you have before. Okay, that's 8. So now we're gonna switch legs. So now my right leg is the one that's in front, and my left leg is the one that's in back. Put those toes down on the seat of the chair like you're doing a lunge on the floor. And now you're gonna bend your knee. What's up, Sputnik? 1. Keep your hips forward. 2. 3. Keep your hands on your hips. 4. 5. Reach down, pet your dog. If you have a dog right there. 7. And your last one, try to go down as low as you can, lower than the other ones. 8. So those are some cool chair lunges. Now we're gonna do something slightly more difficult. We're gonna do chair dips. So start with just like normal seated position on the chair. Have my hands on the side of the seat of the chair right here. Bring my legs forward like that. If you have a dog that's kind of in the way, sort of just nudge him gently. Your shoulders should be like centered like right over where your hands are on the chair. Your legs should be straight out in front of you. And what you're gonna do is you're just gonna bend your elbows. There we go. And keep the rest of your body as straight as possible. Yes, Sputnik, do it with me. That's 3. That's 4. That's 5. He's excited by the chair dips going on right now. 7. That's 8. So those are some chair dips. Next level of difficulty, we're going to be doing chair push-ups. So bring your hands on the ground like you would be doing a normal push-up, but your feet, again, like you did with the lunges, are going to be going on the seat of the chair. So your legs should be elevated here. And again, we're going to do 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nice work. I actually kind of missed having a dog there. Okay, next one we're gonna do, pretty difficult even for me. These are kind of like chair planks. And so I'm gonna be starting in a plank position in front of the chair like this. Go down on my elbows, body straight, like you would do in a normal plank. And we're gonna come up first on our hands, and then we're gonna bring our hands up to the chair. We're gonna go down, to our hands on the floor, elbows on the floor. Back to hands on the floor, hands on the chair. Hands on the floor, elbows on the floor. One more time, because this one's really difficult. Go back up to hands on the floor. Ooh. Hands on the chair, hands on the floor, elbows on the floor. So, hope you're warm, because that was really difficult. So now that we're hopefully really warmed up right now, Kyle's gonna do some stretching so that we're ready to stretch all over the chair.
Awesome. So we're gonna stretch. All right. So bring your hands up. One palm will be down. One palm will be up towards the ceiling. The palm that's down, you want to turn your shoulder in and twist. Reverse. The palm that's down, you're going to turn your shoulder in to get a stretch. And switch. Palm up and twist. Switch. Up and switch. Palm up and switch. Palm up and switch. Perfect. Now, just kind of going to go side to side. Arm up and spine. We're going to do a lot of twisting, a lot of awesome stuff with our body. So we'll get it nice and stretched out. Perfect. Put your palm on your belly. The other palm will be up towards the ceiling. Bring your palm up, all the way back, and up and around. Palm up, rotate, down. 3, 4, and 5. Switch, other hand, palm up, rotate all the way around. 2, 3, hear my shoulder cracking every time I do that. 4, and 5. Perfect. Now, hug yourself, clap behind your back. Here we go, got it that time. Perfect. Now, come into a lunge. So just 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, and push back. Maybe those things a little better. Push back with that back heel. Now walk your hands to the front and sink in a little deeper to your stretch. Walk your hands back to where you started. Fold your leg underneath you into a pigeon pose. And look up for a deeper stretch. Perfect. Come back up into your lunge. Walk your hands to the other side. Here we go. Into a lunge on your opposite side. And push back through that heel, that back heel. Stomach is helping as usual. Walk your hands around front, rotate your hips towards the front and sink down into a stretch. He's like, nah. Trying to get on camera right now. Walk back into your lunge. And bend that leg in a figure 4 underneath. Bringing your knee to the ground. And look up for your deeper stretch. Perfect. Bring your feet together. We're gonna do this one. It's a good stretch and also it's fun, so why not?
Is that called butterfly?
I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. Feet out in front. Bend forward. Try to keep your back straight as you bring your chest down to your knees. Perfect. Let's start.
Awesome. So the way that this is going to work is that both Kyle and I have a list of moves that we're going to try to get through. We might not be able to get through all of them. And if you have any questions or if you want to see any more moves, please just reach out to us. We are available on Instagram and Facebook, and we really are just like wanting everyone to join the chair phenomenon. So please reach out to us if you have any questions. But this first move we're going to start with is called Chair Force 1. Yes, I came up with that name. So we're going to start standing behind the chair. So the back of the chair should be the part of the chair that's closest to you. We're going to start with our hip bones resting up against the back of the chair. This is going to be a little uncomfortable at first. Whether or not you're used to doing chairs or aerials, having this like hip bone placement is going to be really crucial for either of those things. But when you first start doing it, it's going to be really uncomfortable. Our recommendation to you, if this is like causing you a lot of pain, one, definitely rest if it's too much. Also, another thing that you can do is you can put padding here, so you can like drape a towel or like a blanket over the back of the chair to sort of like create some cushion here for you. But we're gonna start here, hip bones on the back of the chair. I'm gonna bring my hands down to either side of the seat of the chair, and I'm gonna raise my legs up. Definitely looks better if you keep your legs as straight as possible. And there's how I'm pointing my toes. My arms here should be pretty straight and face looking up, chest up. So this is kind of just like the basic standard version of the down with the hip. Again, if that's already kind of a lot for you, feel free to take a break. It definitely puts a lot of pressure on the hip bone at first. There are a couple variations that I would like to show you. So if you're feeling like you want to experiment a little bit more, there are a couple of different ways that you can do that. One of the ways that you can do that is you can try to keep your hands placed near the back of the chair, close to where your hip bones are at. So before they're here on either side of the seat of the chair, but you can try to do it keeping your hands here on the back of the chair. It's definitely a little bit more difficult because you're going to have to balance a lot more. But ultimately, you want to try to build up to be able to do it by any hand whatsoever. That takes a little bit of time to build up this skill and balance. But the more you slide your hands up onto the back of the chair, the more you're going to be practicing that balance, so that eventually you can just take your hands off. But if that's if the balance part is challenging for you, keep your hands here on the seat of the chair. It's definitely way less difficult to keep your balance when your hands are placed here. Another thing that you can do is you can alternate between one hand on the chair and one hand outstretched in front of you. And of course you can switch. One hand stretched out, one hand on the seat of the chair. Keep your face lifted, keep your chest up. Another thing that you can do is while you're doing that, you can alternate bending your knees. So you create that really pretty, sort of mermaid shape. You can switch, one knee bent, one hand stretched out in front of you. Another thing that you can do, if you're feeling adventurous, is that hand that's raised on the same side, bend that knee, bring your hand back, and stretch that foot towards your head. It just creates this really pretty shape. A cool thing about chair dance is that there's a lot of opportunities for making really pretty shapes. So of course you can try it on the other side, bend that knee, bring your arm back, lift your chest, and make that really pretty shape. Keep the toes on your other foot pointed. And then another thing that you can do, bend both your knees, bring your head up, try to bring that really nice croissant shape into the picture. And so those are a couple different ways that you can experiment with the chair force 1 position, which basically just kind of summarizes all the different positions that you can do when your hips are located on the back of the chair, your arms are either on the seat in front of you, on the back of the chair, or you're not using your arms, and your legs are lifted to sort of create this like flying shape. And the ultimate goal is that you're gonna try to do it without any hands. You're gonna take off, not unlike a plane. Hence the name, Chair Force 1. So that's the move. Are there any questions or anything in the chat?
It's pretty chill. Everybody's just enjoying the show.
That's perfect. Okay, cool.
So the next one is we have to throw some box tech in because this is a workshop with Tippy, so it would not be a proper workshop if there is no box tech. So I'm going to do as best I can with the chair. So what you'll do is stand behind your chair with your feet hip distance apart and hold on to the back of the chair. I'll step to the side so you can see what I'm doing, but this is the main position that you want to keep. Come up onto the balls of your feet and rotate your hips towards the side of the room. Doesn't matter which side. Next, bend this back knee so your knees meet. Once your knees are touching, come up onto the balls of your feet and rotate towards the other side of the room. We're going to do these figure 8 legs. This back knee will bend, knee to knee, come up onto your toes, rotate towards the side of the room. So I'm going to get a diagonal each time, diagonal to diagonal. So back leg bends, knee to knee, rotate. This will become more fluid as you do it. If you want to add a little bit of foot movement to do some little tracers on the ground, same movement, knee to knee, but this time we'll trace a line on the floor with our big toe, just a little bit in front of the foot. Rotate your hips and trace back to where you started. Knee to knee, trace the ground with your big toe, a little bit before that foot. Hips go towards the other direction. I'm going to do this on here, a little better. Knee to knee, trace, turn. Back to where it started. Knee to knee, trace, turn. Back to where it started. So eventually,
Talking about love, everybody talking about love. Don't be lame, y'all. Got to do your thing.
Hey, sorry y'all, technical difficulties.
You're good.
Cool.
You're good.
Good? Awesome. So this movement will be behind the chair. Way easier when you're holding onto the back of the chair. Super sexy, smooth move. Next, lift up one foot, doesn't matter which one. And whip that leg behind you so your booty's facing the chair. So we're gonna start here. Lift one leg up, flip it around. Your back leg, whip around again. So you're doing a 2-point turn, so you're facing the seat. One more time. Start here, one leg out, around, back leg comes up, around again. Next, bring your hand to the seat and move into these little pedal kicks here. Good so far? Cool. Next, bring this back knee to the seat. Hold on to the back of the chair with your back hand. This front leg will come out, swing around, so you spin around to the other side. I'll do that from the other way so you can see what my hands are doing. So your back knee will rest on the seat of the chair. Your front leg will spin you around, and you'll switch your grip on the chair so you're facing the other direction. The faster you can do it, the cooler it looks. You can get a little spin in there. And you can just use this leg for momentum if you spin it around. Boom. If we're good there, this front leg will thread through, coming to the ground for some more pedal kicks. We've almost completed our dots here. And we'll do another 2-point turn by bringing this front leg up, spin around, front leg up, spin around. And you've got it all the way around your chair. So real quick, the whole thing will look like this. One leg up, boom. Back leg up, boom. Back knee on the seat, front leg will come up, spin you around, thread this leg through, coming to the ground to your little pedal kicks. This time, the front leg will come up, spin you around, front leg up, spin you around, and you're done.
Yeah. Maybe just do the whole thing again.
One more time?
Yeah, just one more time.
Yeah, we can't see you, everybody. If you have questions, please ask away. So one more time. Your little figure 8 legs here. Boom. Boom. Back knee to the chair. Front leg up. Whip around. Thread the leg through. Coming to the ground with pedal kicks. Front leg up. Around, around, and you completed your box. Nice. Tag your it. Okay, my turn.
Okay. So the last move that I taught was called chair pose 1. And this move is kind of similar in that it's going to be, again, sort of focused on your hip bones, but you're going to have the added support of the back of the chair. So you're going to go down on your knees in front of the chair, specifically the seat of the chair. And again, your hip bones are going to be placed right here on the seat of the chair. When you're just like hanging out right here in this position, it's not a lot of pressure, but there will be more pressure. So again, if you want to add a cushioning there with a towel or a blanket or something, sort of make it a little bit more padded on your hip bones, you can do that. This is a really fun position because you can imagine all the different ways that you can get in here. How do you get here? How do you get here on your knees in front of the chair? Are you stroking the chair? Were you standing up and you come down? Were you on the floor and just did a roll and are now draping yourself over the chair? There's a lot of different ways that you can enter in this position. Kyle and I recently choreographed a performance where we're like hugging the chair, you know, so are you pushing the chair? Are you mad at the chair? Do you love the chair? There's a lot of emotional things that can be happening with the chair right now, which is why I like this. But anyways, however you get here, your hip bones are going to be placed on the seat of the chair. And my hands are going to be here on the back of the chair, elbows in, chest down. This is really important. I can't stress this enough. Your arms are here on this side of the chair and not like this. If you do it like this, you will fall over. So your hands are here draped on the back of the chair, your elbows in, and your chest should be as close to the back of the chair as you can manage. Again, not this, this. You're gonna fall over like this, so don't do it. Do it like this. Okay, so we're gonna start this off really nice and easy. The first thing that we're gonna do, scooch so your hip bones are really squarely placed on the seat of the chair, and you're just gonna raise one leg. And you can bend the other knee so you create this nice triangle shape. So let me just come down for a second. You have the added bonus that you are like resting on the back of the chair here, but you're still engaging your core because you are raising your legs off the ground. So again, if this is a lot for you, please take breaks, please take water breaks. This is a full-on workout, and please do not be hard on yourself if you're not getting these all immediately. And there's also several variations to this, just like with Chair Force 1. So that's kind of the first variation. Again, your hip bones are here, squarely on the seat of the chair, elbows tucked, chest kind of up against the back of the chair as much as you can manage. Raise one leg straight, other leg bent, and again, keep those toes really pointed. And if you want to make this really pretty, lift your face. So that's one variation of the pose, right? Let's try it with both of our legs out straight. Again, it's going to be a lot of core work, so make sure that you're engaging your core. Hip bones on the seat of the chair, elbows tucked. Raise both those legs up into the air, straight as you can. Bring your head back. And again, you want to keep your arms on the inside of the chair. Try it on the outside of the chair, you will fall over. I promise you will fall over. I've tried it before. All right, so now we're gonna do next level difficulty. I'm scooching my whole body up so it's resting on the chair. And you can keep your arms here for stability, but if you want an added challenge, bring your arms back, hold your feet, lift your chest. And if you want to experiment with this pose, you can do the same thing where you bring one arm out, one leg straight, and then you can switch, one arm straight, one leg bent. And then you can bring your knees in and come back down to the ground. That move is called a croissant for obvious reasons. It's because when you're like this, you look like a croissant. I can't think of any more logical thing than that. So just to sort of like briefly recap all the different ways that you can do that. Again, hip bones, seat of the chair, arms on the back of the chair, elbows tucked, one leg straight, one leg bent. Of course, you gotta do it on both sides. both legs straight, both legs bent, and then you can do difficulty level advanced. One leg straight, one arm straight, other arm straight, other leg straight, and then you can come back down, knees to the ground, and rest. So that is the croissant. Does anyone have any questions about that?
Everything's going great.
Perfect.
Awesome. Next, we're going to do something called a backseat split. So, I always get stuck in this position, and it is so awkward to get out. So, one way that I enjoy getting out is this thing called a backseat split. So, it'll look like this to start. And the goal is this. So, to start, thread your front leg through the chair. Your back leg will come around and hook on the back seat. Next, bring your front palm, to the ground. Straighten both legs and turn towards the front. Here, you can reach over and you can kind of like milk this nice shape here, have a moment, love it. Next, bend at your elbow, bringing your forearm to the ground. You can also have a moment here if you would like. Why not? Let's do it. So next, we're going to move into the split part. So do what your body feels comfortable with. Slow, listen to your body, work your way up. You can stop here. You can do different shapes if you're not feeling the full split. Always point your toes. It looks a million times better when you do that. Makes your legs look nice and long. If you want to try the split, grab behind your calf and pull your leg towards yourself. So when you're in this position, your hips are going to be towards the front of the room. Grab your calf, pull it down. One more time. We start here. Palm comes to the ground. Straighten both legs. Rotate hips towards the front. Your moment. Bend at your elbow. Bring your forearm to the ground. Another moment. Then grab the back of your calf and slowly bring your knee to your chest. I notice I slide back just a touch, my torso slides back, and I turn in just a touch, my belly button towards the seat as I open my legs into the splits. How do we get out? There's a really fun way to get out of here. There's two options. You can roll so your hips are on the seat of the chair. Bring that front knee to the ground, and you can crawl off. Or, I feel like my crawling is not very cute, so I like to roll. Split. Roll so the hips are on the seat of the chair. Bring your knee to the ground. Then tuck your head in, tuck your chin in. Bring the back of your neck to the ground. And roll on out. So the roll, again, if you want to try it, is proceed back this way. Front hand to the ground. Hips rotate towards the front. Top arm out to create this shape. Slowly bend at your elbow. Grab the back of your calf and bring your leg in for the splits. roll so your hips are on the back of the seat or on the seat. Knee to the ground. Tuck your chin in. Roll on up.
Yeah.
How's everybody feeling about that?
I think good.
Good?
I think so.
Awesome.
All right.
Do the next one.
Yeah, here we go. Okay. So true to all those chair dancing, we need to throw a little drama in here. Truly cannot call it chair dance unless it's as dramatic as you can possibly make it. And so this move is appropriately called the drama boat. Okay. Let me just show you boat pose. If you're not familiar, it's a pose in yoga. Let me just quickly show you what that looks like. Basically, you have your legs and your arms both lifted, back straight, head up, chest up, try to keep your back and legs and arms as straight as possible. So that's boat pose. So how can we translate this into a dramatic chair dancing style as much as possible? Well, the advantage to doing the drama boat on the chair is that you do have an extra support here. And so you're still working on that core strength. You can cheat with this pose, which is pretty great. And you can lean up on the back of the chair to help support you. Because holding boat pose for a long time is definitely difficult. And so basically what you're going to be doing, seated position on the chair, but not like you would, facing forward. You're going to be on this kind of side angle here. And there's a lot of different ways. Again, you can think about how do I find myself, in this position in the chair, like what I did with the croissant. How are you going to find yourself here? Are you just going to sit down? Are you going to do, one of Kyle's, spinny back moves here like this? When you sit down, of course, you have to ask first, as always, because it's chair dancing. But however you find yourself starting this position, seated sideways on the chair, and you can use a hand on the seat of the chair to help support you here. Bring those legs straight up, pointed toes, and your arms are going to come out straight in front of you, chest up. Again, if this is difficult, ta-da, you can just lean up against the back of the chair. It definitely doesn't make it easy. It's not like an easy pose, but it definitely helps support you. So you're not just solely relying on your core to hold you up here. If you want something to support you more, you can just put your arm here on the back of the chair. But either way, hold this pose for as long as you can. Dramatic part of the song. And then when it's time to get out of the pose, you're just going to relax everything. And I'm going to keep this arm on the back of the chair here, and I'm just going to, like that. When you come down like that, there's a lot of different shapes that you can come down in. So the shape that I come down in usually is one knee is bent, and the front leg here, the one that's facing the audience, is straight. Like this. You can bring that one back arm all the way down to the ground to be as dramatic as you possibly can. You can leave it here at the side. You can leave the hand here on the floor to help support you. And then when it becomes time to come back up, let me show you how I did that again. So here we are on the ground, very dramatic. The beat just dropped or whatever. I'm going to bring my arm here on the seat of the chair. My other arm is here on the back of the chair. I'm going to engage my core, come back up. And of course, you got to try to make it as sexy as possible, okay? So you do your boat pose, look at the audience, like, oh yeah, this is amazing. Drop. And then when you come back down, or when you come back up, make sure that your hair is following you all the way back up, and you look sultry at the audience. You know what I mean? So just sort of everything from the top. We're here, seated on the chair, sort of at the side, not in front, that side. Come back to that boat pose. Ta-da! Point toes, chest up, and then when it's time to drop, drop. And then come back up, like that. So that's the drama boat. I hope it lived up to its name. Does anyone have any questions about that?
We're all good. I love the names. The drama boat, the Chair Force One. Hilarious. It's awesome.
You forgot the croissant. The croissant though. Come on.
Oh, I'm trying to think which one to do next. Okay, I think I'm gonna do this one. So, the next one is a drop split. Still trying to figure out a great name for that, but you'll see why it's called a drop split. So, a lot of times we're doing a lot of movement on the front of the chair, and we end up in the side seat here. What I love to do is slide back. I'm gonna do the whole move first, and then I'll break it down. Boom, drop split. So, we're seated on the side of the chair. Slide your booty to the end of the chair so you're on your back. And I got the front of my chair. Don't stick your hand through because you're gonna have a hell of a time trying to get it back out. So on your back, feet up, and you're gonna do these little pedal kicks. These are nice. When you're chair dancing and you need a break, this is my favorite because it's cute and you can be like, let me catch my breath real quick, but it's so cute. Awesome. So there's a couple different shapes that you can do here. You can stop here. You can bring this back leg up to 12 o'clock and create a figure 4 for this shape. Or if you want to move into a split, this back leg will go straight. Grab your calf, just like the other move, straighten your leg, and pull your knee to your chest wherever you're able to right now. So here's the first split. Next, if you want to move a little bit further, we're here. This hand that's on the calf will come palm down to the ground. Grab the back of your seat with your hand. Roll so both feet hit the ground. This back hand will come up off the chair to the ground, sliding down into the splits. It's really fun when you can just plop and slam right down into it. It's very dramatic. There's a theme here tonight, if you can tell. So one more time. We're seated on the side of the chair. Grab the chair, slide your booty so you're on your back. These little pedal kicks, I love it. There we go. You can play with the different shapes. Boom, boom. Move into the split. If you want to go into drop, the hand on the calf will come palm down to the ground. Slowly rotate your hips so both feet are on the ground. Back hand will come on the other side of the foot. So my leg is in the middle of my hands. And slide down into the splits. So nice and fast, one more time.
Yeah.
Ta-da! That's it. How does everybody feel about that?
I think it's good.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Also, again, if you need to take a break, get some water, totally get it. Again, this is like full body workout. Like when I have friends who do this, they're like, oh, my body is like sore the next day. And I'm like, yeah, because it's hard. So this next move is called the archer's bow, a classic. We're gonna start facing away from the chair. So our butt, should be close to the back of the chair here. Again, think about how you would get into this position. For me, usually if I find myself here, I like to add, something where I'm like going down, sort of like moving my hips, bringing it back up. So there's a lot of different ways that you can find yourself into this position. And I think that's the fun part of chair dancing is that, is the experimentation part of it. So you can play around. How do I find myself here about to embark in the archer's bow position? Anyways, we're gonna start here, back of the body, facing the back of the chair. And my hands are here, starting here on the back of the chair, basically just so I can get my butt on the back of the chair here. Depending on your height, this may or may not be easier for you. I'm really small, I'm a short person. And so it actually helps me get into this position, and I'll show you. Putting my foot here, either on the back of the chair, on one of these like supporting bars here. But you want to be like basically like sitting on the back of the chair. Again, if you're tall, I don't think this is much of an issue for you, but for me, I'm really short, so it's like I need a little like lift to get my butt here comfortably in the back of the chair. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of my arms and I'm going to propeller it down to the seat of the chair, like this. And then I'm going to propeller my other arm down to the other seat of the chair. And now you should be in a comfortable position to let both of your feet off the ground. And so now you are pretty much solely supported on your hands on the seat of the chair and your butt on the back of the chair here. It's called the archer's bow because you can fully bend back into this bow shape. So really arch your back, point your toes as usual, keep your legs straight, and really, feel yourself in this stretch. This is, not a position that you find yourself in very often, so really enjoy it and feel it in your body. There's a lot of different things that you can play around with here. As usual, there's a lot of variations to this pose. Something that I've been playing around with recently is alternating between stretching my legs out into like a straddle, which has kind of a different look than keeping your legs, straight and together like this. So you can play around with, opening your legs, keeping your legs tight. Another thing that you can do is you can play around with one leg up and one leg down. Again, keep your toes pointed. And again, other leg up, other leg down. You can play around with just like, just a normal like lifting, lowering, but you can also, use your knee to draw it up like that. So your knee kind of comes first and then you extend like that. So there's a lot of different ways that you can play around with this. Another thing that I've been playing around with recently is tucking your toes on one of your legs here on the seat of the chair and keeping the other one straight like this. And of course alternating, just like it creates some more angles to play with in the shapes. And of course you can try both. But anyways, once you're kind of like, okay, I've exhausted all of the ways that I can play around with this position, how do I get down? The way that I get down is I'm going to open my legs to either side and I'm going to drop my butt down onto the seat. I'm going to show you two different speeds of doing this because depending on who you are and your comfort level, it might be easier to do it one way other than the other way. Here is the way of just doing it very slowly. I'm going to maintain my hands here on the seat of the chair. I'm going to really use my arms to help lower myself down. So notice how my legs came up to the other side. I brought my butt down, but I did it very controlled, kept my arms here on the seat of the chair to help lower myself down. So let me just do it that speed again. Here we go, we're starting here. Foot on the seat of the chair. Propeller my arm down, other arm down. Okay, play around with some shapes. And now it's time to get down. Keep my hands on the seat of the chair here. Open my legs to the side. And I'm gonna controlled bring my butt down onto the seat of the chair. and we are successfully disembarked from the archer's bow position. I'm going to show you another way of doing it if you're more comfortable, where it's a little faster, it's a little harder, and you're sliding your booty down on the chair. Which again, depending on your comfort level, might be better for you. But for other people, it might be better to do it in a more slow and controlled manner like I just did. So again, getting to the position, foot on the seat of the chair. Again, if you're tall, you might not need to do that step. But on the back of the chair, propeller my arm down, propeller my other arm down. Here I am, archer's bow, time to get down. And again, I'm gonna open my legs to either side. I'm gonna bring my butt down to the seat, but I'm gonna do it really fast. I'm gonna do it really hard. Like that. So basically, as my butt hits the seat of the chair, I bring my arms up, you know. And now you're in this position where, you know, you can do some hair flips, you know, you can make it really dramatic. You can bring, you know, you can stand up, you know, butt comes up first, as always. So those are like the two different ways that you can do it. Let me just very quickly do that one again, kind of faster. Here we go, into the position, arms down. I'm gonna open my legs to either side, like that. And that is the archer's bow position. Does anyone have any questions about that?
No, I think we're good.
Cool.
Nice. All right, this is one of my favorite moves. It's called the escalator because we are going down. I did make this one up when I fell down one day and found a really graceful way to do it. So that is how the move was made. I'm actually going to do it this way. So what the move looks like is take it back up. So a lot of times when you're chair dancing, you can end up, you know, in these positions. So a lot of times I end up facing backwards and it's just hard to find a nice way to get out. And so I really like this way. So to start, your back knee will rest on the seat. Your back knee will rest on the seat of the chair. Front leg will come around and bend over the top of the seat. Next, grab on each side of your chair. And here's where the rocking will begin. So the first couple times, we're just gonna do like some really easy rocking. Don't rock too hard because you will definitely eat it, and that is not what we're trying to do. So just kind of ease it in. Little tiny rocks. See how that feels. That's waters. So once you kind of get a feel for that, you know, shifting your weight back and forth. Scoot the chair up a little further on your thigh so your foot's closer to the ground. Next, what we'll do is rock the chair forward so our foot comes to the ground. This time it's going to be a very small movement. We're not going to do a big rock, we're just going to get the feel for it. So, boom. That's it. My foot touched the ground. Next, bend that front knee and we'll create a pocket for this chair to rest in. So really bend that front knee. There we go. So the chair will have somewhere to rest. Next, this back leg is going to come off and walk forward. So I'll just do that part again. Back knee, rest on the chair. This front leg will come around and bend over the back side of the chair. Grab onto the chair with both hands. Rock it a couple times. Slide up a little further on your thigh so your foot's closer to the ground. And rock so your foot touches the ground. Bend your knee. Sorry, it's hard on a yoga mat. Bend your knee so that you have a little pocket for the chair to rest. The next step is we're going to take this back leg here, completely off, and step forward. Come up onto the ball of your foot so that the chair is now resting on the back of your heel. Next, kick up your heel to catch the chair. I'm going to take this out. You have it? There we go. All right, do it again. So back knee bent on the seat of the chair. Front leg will be bent over the seat of the chair. Grab on. Feel out your rocking. Once you feel good, slide up a little further on your thigh. Rock so that your foot comes down to the ground, creating a pocket by bending your knee. So it's just gonna rest right there. Next, take your back leg completely off. Not how it's supposed to go. Take your back leg completely off without knocking your chair over. And come up onto the heel of your foot. I see where you have the yoga mat now. And it's gonna rest right here. Sorry, y'all, there's a lot going on here right now. Okay, let's do this one more time. So knee will be on the chair, front leg will be wrapped around the side. Push forward so your foot comes to the ground. Bend that front knee so you have a pocket right here for the chair to rest. Step forward with your back leg. Come up onto the balls of your feet so that the chair will rest on the heel. Keep your heel up. Bring the chair back up. And that's the full move. I'll do it one more time because I know I messed up a couple times. So, back knee will rest on the chair. This leg will wrap around. Rock forward to catch right in the pocket of your knee. Back leg will step forward. Come up onto the balls of your feet so that the chair is resting on your heel. Kick it up. And that's the move. How does that feel?
I don't think there are any questions, but I think we're also pretty close to time.
Nice.
There's only like 2 minutes left. So
Cool.
I'll just come up and say a couple words. There you go. This is the real star of the show. We're just students, really. Spodek has taught us everything that we know about chair dancing, so we really owe it all to him. He wasn't performing or teaching today because he's very tired. He's been chair dancing all day today, so he definitely needed to get a rest. But thank you all for joining us today. We hope that you learned something, and if it's challenging, difficult at first, definitely keep at it, experiment, play around. That's really how we developed a lot of these moves, was just like simple experimentation. And I think if you have limits, sometimes those can be ways to think of problem solving creatively. So think of ways that you can dance comfortably in your body, don't hurt yourselves, stay safe. If you have any questions or anything, please reach out to us. I think our social media information is in the description of the event. We really are open books, so we really love when people have questions and want to learn. So don't hesitate to reach out to us if you have any questions.
Yeah, definitely have fun with it. If you don't get it at first, just keep working with it. And just because we demonstrated something one way, there's so much that you can do with it. Play with it, make it your own. There's some moves that I'm sure we both learned, and we just kind of made it our own, and play with all the different shapes that you can make, and just have fun with it. It's a great workout. It's sexy, it's fun, And like Tippy said, reach out to us. We didn't do recap video. If you have questions about any of the tricks or want a video, reach out to either one of us on Instagram or Facebook, and we are more than happy. Join the cheerleading squad, please.
Yes, join us. Yeah.
Thank you, PLF, for having us.
Yeah, definitely. Wasn't that. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thanks, y'all.
90 minutes.